Ukraine, in fact, has been successful in counteroffensive and made Russia change its military strategy a couple of times over the last 2.5 months. It has not been a cakewalk, and because of which the Russian president perhaps has been under a bit of a pressure. Though, of course, in the entire event that we have seen today, he has not shown any of it in his body language or his face. In fact, he underscored the continuation of Russia's military action, or the special military action that they have called in Ukraine. President Putin there paying his homage to the Russian martyr soldiers of the Great Patriotic War, as it is called, the victory of Russia in the Second World War. The Soviet forces having defeated the Germans at that time. This is the 77th anniversary, and this is an annual military parade that is held at the Red Square, and President Putin there leading the nation in paying his homage to the martyrs of the Great War, of the Great Patriotic War, as it is called. We are seeing the Russian military might with its full paraphernalia, and an attempt has been made to present a picture of normalcy. Remember, in the ongoing war also Russia has lost many soldiers, and this seems, with this the event coming to an end, and I hand it over to the studios.
So many thanks, Abhishek, for joining us there and for telling us all about this very important day in the history of Russia and in present-day Russia as well. It's time now for a short break. Coming up on the other side, protesters clash with police. Multiple protesters detained after attempt to block bulldozers in New Delhi's Shaheen Bagh. Also, Ranas take the fight to the Maharashtra government. Navneet Rana says they will not back down, will continue the struggle.
It was a dark night with a bright idea.
Guys, we need something big.
Let's do what we always do. Something really bold. Let's take on the D segment.
Let's create the big daddy of all SUVs, because nothing else will do.
The big daddy of SUVs from Mahindra, coming soon.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
In a shocking incident, 2 persons were injured after 15 to 20 rounds of firing took place in West Delhi, Subhash Nagar, late at night on Saturday. In fact, these firing took place yesterday in the middle of the night, after which 2 people have been injured. They have been rushed to the spot, and after the incident took place, several police officials were deployed in the area, and there is a heavy deployment in the shooting site, and several barricades have also been placed, and the inquiry has also been placed by the officials. According to the preliminary information that we're getting from the officials, the investigation has been put in place as to who was behind the firing. CCTV cameras are being constantly checked of the entire location, and the injured people are undergoing treatment in the nearby hospital. The entire incident took place on Saturday night. This is Sumi Rajapun for Republic Media Network with video journalist Ranveer, New Delhi.
Refugees have gathered here in Jammu as a part of Smaran Divas to remember those who have attained martyrdom in the Pakistan's brutality when the part of Jammu and Kashmir was illegally occupied by Pakistan, and now these people have come from various parts of the country to remember those who have given the supreme sacrifice. Sir, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, जो हमारे वहाँ पर छूट गए विस्थापित लोग, हमारे जो वहाँ पर पूर्वज छूट गए हैं, उन लोगों को हम अपने साथ मिलाना चाहते हैं और हम उनके साथ मिलेंगे। पीओजेके का जो हिस्सा उसको लेने के लिए आज संकल्प लेंगे और अपने जो पूर्वज थे उनको हम आज श्रद्धांजलि देंगे। श्रद्धांजलि दे रहे सर, आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, लगातार मांग उठ रही है पीओजेके वापसी को लेकर, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
ये बहुत अच्छा कदम है, ये ऐसा होना चाहिए, हम उधर जाएं वो इधर आएँ, एक दूसरे का मिलाप होना चाहिए।
वापस आना चाहिए पाकिस्तान अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वापस आना चाहिए पूरे का।
We're reporting outside the Kashi Vishwanath temple over here and the mosque that is all mired into controversy. We'll take you straight to the visuals over here in Varanasi. In the visuals, we are bringing you the live pictures of this particular newly built Kashi Vishwanath corridor, and right next to it is the mosque, which is under the scanner of all the controversies. This is the particular mosque where against which you can see there's a brown wall over there. My video journalist is zooming in and showing you the brown wall. The petitioner are questioning that they should be allowed to go inside and worship at the temple of Gauri Shringar. That particular brown wall that is just one of the walls of these mosques is being contended to be the Gauri Shringar temple by the devotees over here. And now in their petition they request that they should be allowed to go freely inside and should be allowed to worship and offer prayers over here. However, the mosque committee is against this entire drill, following which, hearing the petitions, the court had asked for a videographic survey, but the entire endeavor fell flat, as when the court monitored committee of all the officials came here for the videographic survey, they were not allowed to go inside. There was a massive protest here at gate number 4 of Kashi Vishwanath temple over here. Hundreds of people from the Muslim community came forward and they expressed their displeasure, moving the Varanasi district.
Welcome back after the break, and for the latest in the Navneet Rana case, we go across to our correspondent Ankit, who's outside the Sessions Court where her hearing is likely underway. Ankit, it's over to you for the latest from regarding Navneet Rana. What's happening?
So what's happening right now at the Sessions Court is that the special public prosecutor, that is Pradeep Gharat, who has been arguing against the Ranas right since they were arrested first almost 3 weeks ago now, is arguing that their bail is currently cancelled because they have spoken to the media about a matter that is under investigation. Hence, he is now arguing for the court to allow the police to take the Ranas into custody. He is citing specific statements that they have made in the media. Especially the statement where Navneet Rana said, not 14 days, I am ready to be in jail for 14 years if it means upholding the Hanuman Chalisa. And Pradeep Gharat is arguing how this can be termed to be not related to the the case in any way. He's saying that because this is related and because the Ranas have addressed the media regarding this, their bail automatically stands cancelled, because remember, it was a conditional bail that was granted, and one of the conditions was that they must not speak to the media regarding any matter related to their case, nor should they repeat the same offence. But the Ranas, of course, have today departed for Delhi, where they want to meet the Home Minister as well as the Lok Sabha Speaker, that is Om Birla, and accordingly the plea has been filed by Special Public Prosecutor Pradeep Gharat on behalf of the Mumbai Police, who wants to take them back into custody. And that is the hearing that is going on right now. Arguments are being made. The latest argument by Pradeep Gharat is his referring to the statements by Navneet Rana regarding harassment in court, and he says, did they approach the appropriate authority? What is important is the restraint issued by the court, and so that is Pradeep Gharat's argument. Before that, he cited another statement made by Navneet Rana, where she had dared the Chief Minister directly, Uddhav Thackeray, and citing that statement, Pradeep Gharat asks, is this not a subject matter of the case? He also says, this is the Special Public Prosecutor for the Mumbai Police, stating that the accused has no respect for the honour of the court. She is running away to Delhi. At that time also she briefed the media, so he is referring to the statements made by the Ranas earlier today. And he's also stating another, what I reiterated to you, I'll just state again, the way she said, reading Hanuman Chalisa, why 14 days? I'm ready to remain in jail for 14 years. Hanuman Bhakts will teach them a lesson, then meaning the MVA government. And Advocate Gharat says, can anyone say this statement is not related to the case? So this is the breaking development that's coming in. Essentially, a plea has been filed by Special Public Prosecutor Gharat on the behalf of the Maharashtra government, and he wants the bail. He says that the bail already stands void. As soon as they addressed the media on the topic, the bail stood void, and now he wants the court to issue a non-bailable warrant so that the police can execute it and take them into custody. So this is a serious escalation in the legal matter pertaining to the arrest of the Ranas made from their home in Khar almost 3 Saturdays ago. We saw how they spent around 12 days in custody. They had initially been remanded to 14 days judicial custody. They spent around 11 of them there. If you add to that the one night that they had spent at the Khar police station, and then later that same night the Santa Cruz police station, it was about 12 nights that they were in custody. Then Navneet Rana came out and she said that she was not feeling well. She had a medical issue and she was admitted to Leelavati Hospital. And now also you have the related matter of the BMC being at their home. So the latest argument is that Pradeep Gharat says that they have spoken about the merits of the case with the media. He says, I am going to fight against this action. She is giving an open challenge after coming out, and he calls this an indirect message. And therefore, Pradeep Gharat makes his prayer to the court and before the judge. He says, therefore, sir, it is necessary that a non-bailable warrant may be issued against the both of them. So this is a serious hearing that's happening right now, and at stake is the liberty of the Ranas. Essentially, the Mumbai police and the Maharashtra government via its special public prosecutor is arguing that the Ranas were in violation of the court's order, the conditions that were imposed while granting them bail, and they spoke to the media about a matter that is very relevant to the case and also continued to dare the chief minister on the topic, and hence the prosecutor argues that their bail is void and that the court must issue now a non-bailable warrant which they can execute and take the Ranas into custody. Remember, viewers, the Ranas today, they did speak to the media and they were setting out to Delhi because they want to meet the Home Minister as well as the Lok Sabha Speaker, that is Om Birla. They also, Navneet Rana did say that if it is it's not a matter of 14 days, she is ready to go to jail for 14 years. If it means upholding the Hanuman Chalisa, and that the Hanuman Bhakts will teach the MVA government a lesson. And that is the subject matter of the hearing that is ongoing right now behind me in the Sessions Court. Serious arguments being made by the special public prosecutor there, Pradeep Gharat, who has been part of this case right from the beginning. On the other side, we have seen how a number of senior lawyers have been representing the Ranas as well. Rizwan Merchant and Abad Ponda have in earlier hearings represented them, and we are now awaiting the latest arguments that are being put forth in court. Just to reiterate, the Mumbai police is arguing for a non-bailable warrant to be issued so that they can take the Ranas into custody once more. Remember, they have been out of jail for essentially 4 days. It was on May the 5th that they came out. 1 day prior to that, they were granted conditional bail. The conditions were such that they had to pay 50,000 surety each. They could not speak to the media. They could not repeat the same offense. And viewers, I must remind you that today, after a number of days and after a number of notices, the BMC did finally enter the home of the Ranas in Khar. They were not there at this time, and a survey is being conducted over whether or not there were any illegal alterations made in their house. And the latest argument also I have now for you. The Special Public Prosecutor Pradeep Gharat refers to comments made by Ravi Rana. He says, whether the Chief Minister is misusing his powers by when the remand is passed in court. The comments were, we will follow up with complaints about Sanjay Raut and Anil Parab. Remember, Ravi Rana had spoken and he had said Sanjay Raut and Anil Parab are welcome to come to the house with the BMC. And so Pradeep Gharat argues they are threatening directly the Chief Minister as well as Sanjay Raut and Anil Parab. And he asks, is this not a threat? So that is the latest that's coming. The Special Public Prosecutor here is making arguments to the effect that he's trying to say that the Ranas are speaking about the matters that the court had told them not to. Now, how the court views this remains to be seen. But right now, the plea has been filed to take the Ranas back into custody, and it remains to be seen what the judge makes of all this. Remember, it's not a matter where the prosecutor is arguing that their bail is void. The prosecutor is taking for granted that their bail is void. Because they address the media, what they want is to immediately take them into custody. They have also taken note of the fact that the Ranas have now moved to Delhi. They are on their way right now. We had heard them just before they left. They were going to meet Amit Shah and Om Birla. And that is the latest right now coming in from the court. One more argument. The learned magistrate has asked about any complaints regarding jail authorities. Remember, Navneet Rana had complained. And this is a sorry state, sir. That person who is sitting there to make laws does not know that a person can be arrested without a warrant in a cognizable offense. So arguments are going on inside. It's the Special Public Prosecutor that is doing the talking currently, and he wants a non-bailable warrant issued by the court to take the Ranas back into custody.
So Ankit, well, when we talk about the Maharashtra government, it's very clear about what it wants. It wants a non-bailable warrant right now. It wants a rearrest. But what about the Ranas' lawyers? What are they saying? What is their stand on the matter? Is there any indication? Have they given you any indication, any indication from your sources how they would fight?
At this moment, they have not made any arguments yet. We are yet to ascertain what exactly the Ranas will say in response. But copious arguments being made certainly by the Special Public Prosecutor on behalf of the government, the state government that is.
Well, we cut across now to those visuals from Shaheen Bagh, where high drama was played out just a short while back when a bulldozer arrived there from the MCD to continue with its anti-encroachment drive, which was stalled. Now we are seeing people climbing walls. There are reporters on the ground will be joining us shortly to tell us about what's happening there. These are live visuals that Republic has accessed for you from Shaheen Bagh in New Delhi, where the MCD was to conduct its anti-encroachment drive just a short while back, with bulldozers arriving at the Shaheen Bagh market. But Piyush, our correspondent, who's there at the spot on the phone line, joining us to tell us what these visuals are about. Piyush, we believe that the anti-encroachment drive stalled for now, but we are seeing some visuals coming in of people erecting bamboo barricades and so on.
Well, absolutely. We are now seeing these pictures coming in from Shaheen Bagh, that they are now the people, locals who had gathered here, they are now erecting the barricades. Those were put in place. In fact, they were removed.
Right. Well, barricades being put up. Are these political workers? Are these local residents? What can you tell us? Live visuals there from Shaheen Bagh. Even as the bulldozer rolled in, protests erupted, and the bulldozers, the anti-encroachment drive of the MCD that was to begin today was stalled, and the police also entered the area. There was a political war of words as well. The AAP and the Congress jumping into the fray. Our correspondent Piyush to tell us more. Piyush, what visuals are these that we are seeing? They are from Shaheen Bagh. We believe crowds gathered there, even and a barricade-like structure with a bulldozer in the middle.
Well, absolutely, we are now seeing the pictures of the iron structures which was demolished by the locals themselves. It is now again being erected by the people who have basically been brought that down. Now the people here, locals, have once again gathered in large numbers. We are right now seeing the pictures coming in from Shaheen Bagh with a massive gathering of locals. Remember that today in the morning around 11:30 a.m. The officers from SGMC, they had come here in large numbers, but they were stopped by the locals. And now what we are seeing, the pictures of the same place because of the massive protest which they faced. Because of the massive protest which the SGMC faced, the demolition drive has now been halted for now. The demolition drive has now been halted for now. We are also showing you the live pictures from right outside the same place, where, today in the morning, the people had themselves removed the structure. Now we are also getting the pictures of the same place where the people are now collecting all those iron structures and once again trying to erect that. What you can also tell to our viewers that now the SGMC officers have moved back from this very place. And they are in fact moving to some other location for the demolition drive, which they will carry out, because what SGMC believes is that there are many illegal encroached lands in Shaheen Bagh, and the drive of demolition will continue in this very area. We'll have to wait and watch how the corporation is going to move ahead. As far as the demolition in this area is concerned, we spoke to Mahatullah Khan also, where he's now coming out and saying that politics is being played by the Bharatiya Janata Party.
कुछ डायरेक्टिव्स देता है, क्योंकि सिर्फ शाहीन बाग नहीं बल्कि पूरा दक्षिणी दिल्ली का जो इलाका है, जिसमें सर्वे करके तमाम चीजों को लेकर कहा गया था कि यहाँ पर अवैध निर्माण किया गया है, उन पर कार्रवाई करने की बात थी, और बुलडोजर वापस चला जा चुका है। और तस्वीरें लगातार भी हम आपको दिखाते रहेंगे। देखिए ये पूरा एरिया, यहाँ पर देखिए ये पूरा एरिया, अगर हम आपको दिखाएं, यहाँ पर ही कार्रवाई की बात कही जा रही थी। कहा जा रहा था जो रैम्स बनाए गए हैं, रैम्स के ऊपर यहाँ पर अवैध निर्माण है, लेकिन लोगों ने ये कहा है, लोगों का दरअसल ये कहना है कि ये बदले की कार्रवाई है। लोग ये कह रहे हैं कि जब ये समझ में आया कि शाहीन बाग में अलग अलग इलाकों में जो अवैध निर्माण है, तो यहाँ के विधायक पहुंचे, लोकल नेता पहुंचे, और उन्होंने खुद वो अवैध निर्माण हटा दिया। और ऐसे में यहाँ पर कार्रवाई आज नहीं हुई है। और एक रिपोर्ट आपको इसी से जुड़ी दिखाते हैं, आपके सामने रखते हैं।
I can hear you. Well, yes, the very place, the block of Shaheen Bagh where the bulldozer had come with, but because of the massive protest bulldozer faced, now bulldozer has gone away from this Shaheen Bagh, showing you the same pillars. Those remember that they had erected a
bulldozer reached here. They themselves removed this illegal structure which was placed here. Now all these pieces have been collected here. We are now given to understand is that they are again going to erect it. This is what the locals are trying to do. They are saying that no land has been illegally encroached. No land has been illegally encroached. So the people here are now very much agitated. They are saying that this area was not illegally encroached. I'll also try to talk to this man who has in fact erected a temporary structure here. I understand from him, because now he believes that no place, no area was illegally encroached. When the bulldozer reached here, at the time itself, the people who live in this area, they gathered and then they removed this temporary structure. They removed this temporary structure on their own. But now what they believe is that it was not illegally encroached on. Now they are going to erect this. What we are now learning, and that is why they have gathered here. On the other side, we can also see few people are now removing this, and they are taking that particular. They are taking out that particular poles, the iron bolts from here to some other location. They believe that no area was illegally encroached. When the bulldozers reached here, they themselves removed this entire block. The MCD, in fact, had come here.
Has issued notice, no immediate rearrest. Our correspondent Ankit covering this story. So big relief there for the Ranas who are already on their way to New Delhi. But we'll try and connect with our reporter Ankit to find out what exactly the court said and what was the reasoning behind this verdict. Ankit, it's over to you.
So the breaking news update right now is that the court has issued notice to the Rana couple. There is no arrest at the moment. Remember, the Maharashtra government via its special public prosecutor was arguing that their bail stands void and that they must immediately be issued a non-bailable warrant so that they can be taken back into custody. But the court has not done that as yet. It has instead issued notice, and we are now awaiting right outside the Sessions Court for the special public prosecutor to come out and to tell us when we can expect the after the notice is issued, by when they have to respond and when this matter will be taken up again. So for the moment, there is little bit of relief for the Rana couple. They have moved now. They are going to Delhi for the time being to go meet Home Minister Amit Shah and the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. Meanwhile, because they had spoken to the media, the government was trying to get them once again, take them into custody because they had purportedly violated the conditions by which the bail had been granted to them. Just 5 days ago, they were not supposed to speak to the media about issues that are related to the investigation, and they were not to repeat the offense. And so the public prosecutor made out in his arguments that they had in fact breached this, and now they have been issued notice. And they had asked for the bail to be cancelled in this regard, and so that they could be taken back into arrest. That has not been done. Instead, notice has been issued, and we are just now awaiting to find out what exactly are the terms of the notice that the court has issued. By when must the Rana couple reply? By when this matter will be taken up again? Remember, it was only the special public prosecutor who argued today. The Ranas did not argue. The prosecutor gave at length his arguments for why the bail must immediately be cancelled, or rather why in his view it has already lapsed because they had addressed the media, and why they must be issued a non-bailable warrant. However, the court did not do that. The court will instead issue a notice to Navneet and Ravi Rana and ask them about their response to this prayer by the Maharashtra government in this regard, which wants to take them back into custody. And this is the latest. The last argument that Pradeep Gharat made was, and I'm quoting, even after the court's direction, Navneet Rana has challenged the Chief Minister and has spoken about Sanjay Raut and Anil Parab. He has also claimed harassment in the Santa Cruz police lockup. She spoke about the treatment of not letting her use the washroom, no water and no place was provided to her to sit. All this is mentioned by Navneet Rana, and hence he argued to cancel her bail, and they should follow what has been mentioned in the bail order is what the government argued via its special public prosecutor. And instead, a notice has been issued.
So many thanks, Ankit, for joining us there. So big relief for the Ranas. As of now, at least for now, no non-bailable warrant, no rearrest either, at least for now. But a notice has been issued to them. They have the right to reply. And moving on now to other news stories. Elon Musk, who is known to cause a stir with his cryptic tweets, triggered another wave of speculations by talking about his death in mysterious circumstances. Here's more on that story.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has set off a cat amongst the pigeons literally by the tweet that he made today. Now, in that tweet, he says that if I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing ya. Now, this tweet, of course, has created quite a flutter on the internet. It does come a week after he announced his decision to buy the microblogging site Twitter for about $44 billion. Now, shortly before this, of course, Mr. Musk shared a post that appears to be a communication saying that he is involved in supplying the fascist forces in Ukraine with military communication equipment. Now, and for this, of course, Elon, you will be held accountable like an adult no matter how much you play the fool. Now, that's a previous post to which it appears that Elon Musk was replying to. Now, this post, of course, was in Russian, and thereafter what we've seen is this communication that came in from Elon Musk. The word Nazi also, he goes on to say, does not mean what he seems to think it does. Now, just to tell our viewers a bit about the background of this, the communication also claimed that the equipment was delivered in Ukraine by the Pentagon headquarters of the US Department of Defense. Now, the two posts, of course, have sparked speculation on whether the Tesla CEO is facing threats from Russia for helping Ukraine amid the war. In February, remember when this battle that the Russians are fighting in Ukraine set off, it was Mr. Musk's company, that SpaceX, Starlink satellite broadband services, which were activated in Ukraine, of course, after a minister from the war-hit country had reached out to Elon Musk. Now, the tweet on the death under mysterious circumstances, of course, has met with varied responses, ranging from jokes to caution to solidarity.
And now here's a quick look at stories trending across the world as the Ukrainian army continues to advance around the Kharkiv region, liberating new villages. The bodies of more and more Russian soldiers emerge. The bodies of more than 40 Russian soldiers who were found after battles around Kharkiv are being stored in a refrigerated train wagon until they will be requested by Russia, it was said. However, according to Ukrainian officials, until now, Russia has not made any efforts to retrieve the bodies of its soldiers. Russians celebrated Victory Day in Vladivostok with a military parade to mark the 77th anniversary of the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany. Military personnel carrying the Russian flag and the banner of victory led the parade through the center of the eastern city. Signs of support for the military have grown across the country since February 24th's invasion in Ukraine, with the letter Z appearing on billboards and signs in streets and subways and on television and social media. And coming up after this very short break, a mega D-gang crackdown by the NIA. This time, nearly 20 locations raided by the National Investigation Agency. Top Dawood aide Salim Fruit detained in Mumbai.
It was a dark night with a bright idea.
Guys, we need something big.
Let's do what we always do. Something really bold. Let's take on the D segment.
Let's create the big daddy of all SUVs, because nothing else will do.
The big daddy of SUVs from Mahindra, coming soon.
We're reporting outside the Kashi Vishwanath temple over here and the mosque that is all mired into controversy. We'll take you straight to the visuals over here in Varanasi. In the visuals, we are bringing you the live pictures of this particular newly built Kashi Vishwanath corridor, and right next to it is the mosque, which is under the scanner of all the controversies. This is the particular mosque where against which you can see there's a brown wall over there. My video journalist is zooming in and showing you the brown wall. The petitioner are questioning that they should be allowed to go inside and worship at the temple of Gauri Shringar. That particular brown wall that is just one of the walls of these mosques is being contended to be the Gauri Shringar temple by the devotees over here. And now in their petition they request that they should be allowed to go freely inside and should be allowed to worship and offer prayers over here. However, the mosque committee is against this entire drill, following which, hearing the petitions, the court had asked for a videographic survey, but the entire endeavor fell flat, as when the court monitored committee of all the officials came here for the videographic survey, they were not allowed to go inside. There was a massive protest here at gate number 4 of Kashi Vishwanath temple over here. Hundreds of people from the Muslim community came forward and they expressed their displeasure, moving the Varanasi district court as well over here. They questioned that a videographic survey is a brazen endeavor and should not be done.
उन्होंने खुली चेतावनी दी है खासदार नवनीत राणा ने कि उद्धव ठाकरे ने जनता के बीच आगे खड़ा रहना चाहिए, उनको उनके सामने खड़े रहेंगे और उनको जवाब देंगे।
मेरे पे अन्याय हुआ, लॉकअप से लेकर जेल के प्रशासन से लेकर सभी जगहों पे, उसका मैं आप लोगों को डिटेल में बात करूंगी। श्री राम का नाम लेने में और हनुमान भगवान का नाम लेने में अगर कोई 14 दिन डालते हैं तो मेरी
All right, big developments coming in. Navneet and Ravi Rana have now landed. They have now landed in New Delhi anytime. In fact, they have just landed, viewers, just after the Mumbai court had issued a notice to Rana couple. For now, no immediate rearrest, to be given right to reply amid Hanuman Chalisa face-off. But now they have landed in Delhi. Remember that they are due to meet the Home Minister and also the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla later today. I want to go straight across to Ankit. Ankit, after getting a sort of a relief from the Mumbai court, Ranas are coming to Delhi now. They have landed in Delhi. What is the plan for them next?
So two things have happened simultaneously within a couple of minutes from each other. Over in Mumbai, the court has issued notice to the Rana couple asking why it should not issue a non-bailable warrant against them for violating the terms of the bail that it had given. Remember, on the 4th of May, the Rana couple had been issued bail with a couple of conditions in mind. They had to pay 50,000 surety each for their bail. They couldn't speak about the media speak to the media about any matter that was under investigation, and they could not repeat the offence. And after that, today morning also, they spoke to the media. Whether or not it was directly related is a matter that the court will deal with, but it was an argument that was made out by the Maharashtra government, by its special public prosecutor Pradeep Gharat. Now the court heard out all the arguments. The government was asking for a non-bailable warrant to be issued against them immediately because it said that their bail was void, but the court has instead issued notice to the Rana couple. Now we are awaiting right now at the Sessions Court to find out what are the specific terms of this notice. Meanwhile, the Rana couple who started their day in Mumbai have now made it to Delhi, and so they are now out of this ambit of Mumbai. At least they have been here for the last 3 weeks. Remember, we started right here at their house in Khar. At that time, the government was telling them, why are you here? Why aren't you in Amravati? Why are you causing a law and order disturbance? After that, they were taken into custody initially at the Khar police station. Then they were remanded to judicial custody over a number of sections that were imposed against them, including creating enmity between religions and also sedition. They managed to get bail there after 11 days, and after that Navneet Rana was taken to hospital. She spent a number of days in Lilavati hospital. She was just released, discharged discharged a couple of days back, and after she came out, she again reiterated that the Hanuman Chalisa is foremost for her and she would be in jail for 14 years if needed, if it meant upholding that. And she challenged, in fact, the chief minister to contest elections directly against her. After that, because of all the different matters that are related to this, including the fact that she is an elected MP, an independent one from Amravati, the Lok Sabha speaker had already...
All right, Ankit, hold on for us. Ankit, hold on, because another breaking coming in. The Gyan Vyapi hearing has now begun. The Gyan Vyapi mosque hearing had begun. Remember, the Varanasi court has resumed the hearing. Petitions filed by the Muslim side in the Gyan Vyapi mosque complex dispute seeking the appointment of a different advocate commissioner. So live right now, we're telling you viewers that after the updates we got to you in the Rana case, the other big story we're tracking on Republic, the Gyan Vyapi mosque hearing has begun. And I want to go straight across to Madhurima, who has been tracking this story closely. Madhurima, finally, this hearing has begun. It's over the dispute seeking the appointment of a different advocate commissioner. Now, what are the pleas and the arguments which are expected to be put forward?
Well, it's a very crucial hearing that has just begun, and the main argument that will be contested here at the Varanasi court would be as to question the change in the court, the commissioner appointed by the court to conduct the videographic survey. Right now, we are remoting from the court where the hearing is underway, and today the side of the right now it has
आज ऑर्डर 1 रूल 10 में चंद्रशेखर सेठ एडवोकेट द्वारा यह एप्लीकेशन मूव की गई कि हम भी बनारस के नागरिक हैं, वाराणसी के नागरिक हैं और बाबा विश्वनाथ सिंगार गौरी के हम पूजक हैं और धार्मिक आस्था रखते हैं। और यह दावा किसी का व्यक्तिगत मुकदमा नहीं है, यह दावा वाराणसी नहीं पूरे विश्व के हिंदू जनमानस से के धार्मिक आस्था से जुड़ा हुआ मुकदमा है। इसलिए इसमें अधिवक्ता महोदय ने पक्षकार बनने के लिए अपनी प्रार्थना पत्र दिया और उसी प्रार्थना पत्र में मैंने चंद्रशेखर सेठ एडवोकेट की तरफ से पक्ष रखा। हमारे साथ विजय कुमार सिंह और ब्रजेश मिश्रा एडवोकेट और ये चंद्रशेखर सेठ।
आपने क्या पक्ष रखा? क्या पक्ष रखा?
ये सारे लोग थे।
हम लोगों ने पक्ष यह रखा कि हम जो है कि उसमें जो है कि जो ये हिंदू धर्म से ये मामला जुड़ा हुआ है और हम लोग हिंदू धर्म में गहरी आस्था रखते हैं और इसलिए हम वहीं के हम वही निवासी, हम वहीं के निवासी भी हैं, इसलिए हमको जो है कि पक्षकार बना लिया जाए। और यदि न्यायालय के द्वारा हमको पक्षकार बनाया जाता है तो हमारे पास ऐसे तथ्य हैं, न्यायालय के सामने उसको प्रोड्यूस करूंगा और माननीय न्यायालय को एट द टाइम ऑफ फाइनल हियरिंग ऑफ द केस न्यायालय को न्याय करने में मदद मिलेगी।
पोजीशन ये है कि पड़ी है कि नहीं, जो और लोग भी हितग्राही हैं वो अपना पक्ष रखें और इसको गलत ढंग से
All right, we are hearing the lawyers right now speak there. Remember that right now the Varanasi court has begun the hearing. The petitions which have been filed by the Muslim side in the Gyan Vyapi mosque complex dispute seeking the appointment of a different advocate commissioner, and hectic and fast developments happening there from Varanasi.
जनहित का सवाल है तो यह ऑर्डर 1 रूल 10 में हमको सुन के किया जाए ताकि हम भी इसमें साक्ष्य दें और इसमें कोई भी चाहे तो ये मुकदमा वापस लेके हट न पावे और इस मुकदमे का गुण दोष के आधार पर सम्यक निर्णय हो और वास्तविक निर्णय हो। इसके लिए हमने पक्षकार बनने के लिए चंद्रशेखर एडवोकेट सेठ एडवोकेट की तरफ से प्रार्थना पत्र मूव किया है जिस पर अदालत ने सुनवाई किया।
breaking developments coming in. CBI has registered a case against Sushanto Malik, the staff of Babul Supriyo, then MOS Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, along with top executives of EPIL in an alleged corruption case. The agency alleges that the accused favored Ashutosh Bandhopadhyay with contracts in 2016 to 2017 in lieu of 40 lakhs bribe, out of which 5 lakhs were transferred to the bank account of Sushanto Malik in December 2016. There's a big breaking coming in right now, and Shavan will be joining in very shortly to get us all the details on this big development that there's more trouble for Babul Supriyo because the CBI has registered a case against Sushanto Malik. Now, Sushanto Malik, the person in question, is the staff of Babul Supriyo, and this is, in fact, remember that Babul Supriyo was then MOS Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises along with top executives of EPIL in an alleged corruption case. Now, this agency is alleging that the accused, meaning Sushanto Malik, had favored Ashutosh Bandhopadhyay with contracts back in the year 2016 to 2017 in lieu of 40 lakhs of bribe, out of which 5 lakhs were transferred to the bank account of Sushanto Malik in December 2016. So there, CBI keeping an eye on Sushanto Malik, registering a case against Sushanto Malik, who's a staff of Babul Supriyo, who was a then MOS Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises along with top executives of EPIL. Now, this is a corruption case which has emerged. CBI registering a case. Shaban, my colleague, will be joining us very shortly to get you all the details of this big developing story. For now, the CBI has booked Babul staff in a corruption case. 40 lakhs bribe is in question in this case. Now, the agency is alleging that the accused favored Ashutosh Bandhopadhyay with contracts. All right, so we'll take a short break right now. Much more coming up on the other side of the short break, including what is happening in Shaheen Bagh. Also, Navneet and Ravi Rana to meet Home Minister Amit Shah and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla in Delhi shortly. Stay tuned to Republic TV.
It was a dark night with a bright idea.
Guys, we need something big.
Let's do what we always do. Something really bold. Let's take on the D segment.
Let's create the big daddy of all SUVs because nothing else will do.
The big daddy of SUVs from Mahindra, coming soon.
उन्होंने खुली चेतावनी दी है खासदार नवनीत राणा ने कि उद्धव ठाकरे ने जनता के बीच आके खड़ा रहना चाहिए, उनको उनके सामने खड़े रहेंगे और उनको जवाब देंगे।
तो मेरे पे अन्याय हुआ, लॉकअप से लेकर जेल के प्रशासन से लेकर सभी जगहों पे, उसका मैं आप लोगों को डिटेल में बात करूंगी। श्री राम का नाम लेने में और हनुमान भगवान का नाम लेने में अगर कोई 14 दिन डालते हैं तो मेरी 14 दिन में कोई आवाज नहीं दबा सकता। अगर उन्होंने 14 साल भी डाला तो भी मैं भगवान का नाम लेना बंद नहीं करूंगी।
What is being claimed by the Hindu petitioners is that this particular structure of the mosque is entirely a temple. However, the Muslim petitioners have made it very clear that it's a 17th century building, which is why a brazen videographic survey hurt their sentiments.
जो लोग वहाँ के सर्वे को रोक रहे हैं तो प्रश्न उठेगा क्या छुपाना चाहते हैं, किस चीज के से घबरा रहे हैं कि ये बाहर आ जाए।
भारत में कानून का राज है, अगर आप गलत तरीका अपनाते हैं तो उसकी काट भी है। जिस हिसाब से उन्होंने एक पहले 6 बजे के आसपास उन्होंने ये वारंट निकाला और दूसरा वारंट रात को करीब 10 बजे के करीब निकाला। तो इतना तो था ही, हम लोग इंतजार कर रहे थे। हमारे साथ हमारे ये बच्चे भी साथ में थे, कुछ मीडिया कर्मी भी साथ में थे, और वो भी इस इंतजार में थे कि पुलिस कब आती है। लगभग 11 साढ़े 11 बजे न्यूज आई कि बग्गा ने उनके खिलाफ याचिका दायर की है। तब हम लोग निश्चिंत हो गए कि अब पुलिस कम से कम जब तक फैसला नहीं हो जाता तब तक नहीं आएगी। हम लोग रिलैक्स हो गए। 12 बजे के आसपास फैसला आ गया कि बग्गा को 2 दिन की राहत मिली है। अब उस राहत का फायदा किस हिसाब से उठाना है, क्या क्या करना है, ये बग्गा जाने, पार्टी जाने और उनके वकील जाने।
इन्होंने कल फिर ये दर्शा दिया कि इस देश के अंदर कानून का राज चलता है। अगर अरविंद केजरीवाल सोचते हैं कि सत्ता के बल पे, पुलिस के बल पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को डरा सकते हैं, झुका सकते हैं, तो फिर से मैं उनको कहता हूं, एक नहीं 100 FIR कीजिए। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी, मैं ये सवाल पूछूंगा कि आपने गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी की
Breaking news coming in. Hearing begins in Supreme Court on the Shaheen Bagh case. Bench takes up CPIM petition against the demolition in Shaheen Bagh. Supreme Court expresses displeasure of politicization of demolition. SC says cannot hear petition at the behest of political parties. So a big setback for Shaheen Bagh petitioners. The court pulls up political parties for submitting a petition. Earlier dramatic scenes unfolded in Delhi's Shaheen Bagh as bulldozers carried out the demolition of illegal structures. Ananya, correspondent, joining us for the latest there. Ananya, big setback for Shaheen Bagh petitioners. What next?
Well, sir, the Supreme Court has come down heavily on CPIM, the political party, who had filed a petition challenging, in fact, the demolition that has been taking place. Remember that CPIM had filed a petition through Brinda Karat, and now the Supreme Court is coming down heavily on them, saying that a politicization of the matter is going on, and only an order would be passed. In fact, that too, the Supreme Court would only say that approach the High Court only if the people who are actually aggrieved by this demolition drive would approach the court and not any political party. In fact, when the petitioners, the CPIM, told the court that the High Court would refuse to hear this matter, the Supreme Court came down heavily, saying that it is disrespecting the High Court and saying that if such a statement is being made, whether such an order has been passed or not. So now the petitioners are facing the wrath of the Supreme Court over a misrepresentation of facts. In fact, politicization of the matter is also being looked into, and the Supreme Court bench headed by Justice L. Nageshwar Rao is coming down really heavy on these petitioners. In fact, the hearing is currently underway, wherein Justice Rao has said that we have not given license to anybody to come here to say my house cannot be demolished, even if it is unauthorized. You cannot take shelter of that order. We cannot interfere. That too at the instance of political parties. So this is the latest coming in from the judges. The court is completely not inclined to hear this matter. However, since the matter is still underway, we would not like to comment on which way the matter is headed. But clearly, the Supreme Court is coming down very, very heavily on the political parties with regards to approaching the Supreme Court in connection with this demolition drive. In fact, the Supreme Court is also of the view that if people would be encroaching the roads, then a demolition drive would be a necessary one. In fact, the bench clearly said that if people would be encroaching, then demolition is the only option, and the encroachment has to be removed. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who's appearing for the central government, has clearly told the court that this demolition drive has been going on for a long way, and in fact, it is the order of the Delhi High Court in which it is asked for removal of encroachments, that such drives are being carried out in the national capital. Various RWAs had approached the High Court, in fact, remember, earlier this year in connection with the encroachments that are being going on various occasions, various areas in the national capital, following which these encroachments...
Right, Ananya, we'll be coming back to you, but now we cut across live to the scene where it's all panning out. Sumi, our correspondent, joins us for the latest from Shaheen Bagh itself. Sumi, disappointing news for Shaheen Bagh petitioners. The court coming down heavily on politicization of the entire issue. But we believe the demolition drive to continue.
Yes, absolutely. The SDMC for now has put an end to the demolition drive, and right now we are here at Shaheen Bagh, where right behind me we can see that there are a lot of citizens who have come out of their residences to protest against the anti-encroachment drive that was pushed forward by the SDMC, and this drive was going on quite heavily before the citizens intervened, along with a few politicians who also tried to sabotage the entire drive. Remember, the SDMC had also given a notice to all the residents, and in fact they would carry out this anti-encroachment drive by the SDMC. But for now, the citizens have come on the roads, and we are showing you the live visuals of all the citizens who have a different opinion on the entire drive pushed by the SDMC. And we had also seen how Congress also came out and the Aam Aadmi Party leaders also protested here in support of the citizens and also objected to the entire drive that was happening. And this morning, heavy drama unveiled here in Shaheen Bagh. We'll also try to connect to a few citizens here who will be willing to speak to us. Sir,
going back once again, Sumi, will be coming back to you, but going back once again to Ananya for what the court said. First of all, it came down heavily on political parties for putting up a petition in the name of citizens. What else did the court say? And has there been any reaction on the part of the parties involved?
Well, yes, I'll tell you the latest that the court is coming down very heavily on CPIM, clearly saying that it is too much to come to the Supreme Court and say that the High Court won't hear this matter. This is a sheer disrespect of the Honorable Delhi High Court. In fact, the Supreme Court also egged over the politicization of the matter. And in fact, the court is of the view as of now that no orders shall be passed, and the petitioners should go and approach the High Court. In fact, Justice Rao is clearly saying it appears that something in what the solicitor is saying, it's saying that HC's past order is correct. That is why they are not going to the High Court. The HC responds, and it is a very, very heated argument that is taking place at the Supreme Court with regards to the demolition road that is happening across the national capital. The Supreme Court is coming down heavily on the petitioners, saying that this is a sheer politicization of the matter, and the political parties are coming in place of the actual people who are suffering the demolition drive. Back to the studios.
Well, more breaking news on the Shaheen Bagh story here on Republic TV. Even as the bulldozers run, the big loss of face left has withdrawn its petition after the Supreme Court came down heavily on the CPIM for putting forward a petition on behalf of citizens facing the anti-encroachment drive in Shaheen Bagh. The court has wrapped the CPIM and said that it cannot accept the kind of disrespect that political parties are showing to the High Court. And our correspondent Ananya on this case, on this issue, covering for us on the ground earlier. Big dramatic turn of events in Shaheen Bagh, even as protests erupted just as the anti-encroachment drive was to begin. Petitioners, that is the CPIM, had approached the Supreme Court. The court in its reply very stern, very strong, and saying that it is a big disrespect to the High Court. And after the court's wrap, the CPIM has withdrawn its petition. Going back once again to our correspondent Ananya. Ananya, big loss of face there for the CPIM, even as it sought perhaps, somehow to politicize the matter.
Well, yes, clearly it wanted to politicize the matter, and that is what the Supreme Court has said, because remember that I remind you that the High Court had recently passed orders wherein encroachment was to be removed. The High Court was very, very ill over the encroachment being there in the national capital, following which the High Court had passed certain orders, and now the Solicitor General is clearly saying before the court that it is because of the High Court's order that these people did not approach the High Court and came directly to the Supreme Court because they knew that the High Court would not entertain the petition because it has already passed orders with regards to removal of encroachments. In fact, he was also of the view and the Supreme Court also noted that there is some truth in what the LC is saying. And a lot has been said by, in fact, the petitioners, but still, the Supreme Court is very, very clear that this is a sheer politicization of the matter going on. It is surely that the political parties are coming out in place of the actual people who are suffering the loss of this demolition drive. And now, somewhere or the other, it's a very, very big setback to these political parties who try to make up this matter, who try to put this matter to the Supreme Court, saying that something very, very illegal.
के खिलाफ अभी नॉन अवेलेबल वारंट इशू करके हमें ऑर्डर दीजिए कि उनको पकड़ के न्यायालय के सामने खड़े करें, या तो कोर्ट ने उनको नोटिस आप दे दीजिए कि कोर्ट के सामने आ जाओ, कोर्ट उनको कस्टडी में लेके कोर्ट उनका जो कुछ करना है वो न्याय के मुताबिक करे।
तो कोर्ट ने क्या उस पर डिसीजन दिया सर?
कोर्ट ने अभी हमारे इस कहने पे कोर्ट ने उन पे नोटिस अभी इशू की है और अभी डेट उसमें लेनी है कि कब रखना है वो।
सर, आपने उनके कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स का भी जिक्र किया जो उन्होंने कल और आज मीडिया से बात करते हुए दिए। क्या स्टेटमेंट्स थे जो आपको लगता है कि वो आपत्तिजनक थे और बेल कंडीशंस का वायलेशन?
जी देखिए, ये जो स्टेटमेंट्स है ये आपत्तिजनक थे, इसके लिए हमने अर्जी किया, क्योंकि उनको जो है टोटल स्टेटमेंट्स करने से मना नहीं किया था, लेकिन ये जो केस उन पे है हनुमान चालीसा की, ये केस से संबंधित कुछ बात करने के लिए कोर्ट ने उनको मना किया था कि कोई भी बात जो इस केस से संबंधित है वो ना करे। अगर उनका कहना है उन पे कोई अन्याय कर रहा है या किया है, वो कॉम्पिटेंट कोर्ट में जाए, कॉम्पिटेंट फोरम के पास जाए, कॉम्पिटेंट अथॉरिटी के पास जाए और उनको जो इनजस्टिस हुआ उसके लिए जस्टिस की बात करे। लेकिन प्रसार माध्यम के सामने कोई भी बात करने से, भले उन पे अन्याय भी हो गया हो, प्रसार माध्यम के सामने बात करने से उनको मना किया है।
सर मराठीत आज कोर्टात काय झालं नेमकं? तुमचा युक्तिवाद काय झाला आणि कोर्टाने काही निर्देश दिले आहेत का?
आज आम्ही माननीय न्यायालयाच्या निदर्शनास न्यायालयाच्या ऑर्डरमधली जी काही त्यांची जी वाक्य होती तीच दाखवली। माननीय न्यायालयाने ऑर्डर करताना आरोपींना काही अटी आणि शर्ती घातलेल्या आणि त्यात असं म्हटलेलं की त्यांच्यावर ही जी केस आहे त्याच्याशी संबंधित कोणत्याही विषयावर त्यांनी न्यायालयाचं आपल्या प्रसारमाध्यमांसमोर विधान करायचं नाही, आणि ही जी त्यांना अट आणि शर्त घातलेली होती याचा भंग करून ते जे काय बोलले ते सगळं जी त्यांच्यावर केस आहे त्याच्याशी संबंधित, त्यांना त्यांच्यावर अन्याय कसा केला, त्यांना चुकीची ट्रीटमेंट कशी दिली, जेलमध्ये त्यांना काय खायला प्यायला दिलं नाही, पाणी दिलं, हे जे सगळं ते बोलले किंवा त्यांच्यावर हा अन्याय झाला आणि त्याचा ते बदला घेतील, ते जाऊन पंतप्रधानांना आणि शहांना भेटतील आणि माननीय उद्धवजी ठाकरे, अनिल परबजी आणि संजय राऊतजी यांची तक्रार करून त्यांना धडा शिकवतील, हे जे ते काय सगळे बोललेले आहे।
Well, that was Pradeep Gharat, advocate of a lawyer for the Ranas in their case against the government, and there's much relief there. And it's time now for a short break. Coming up on the other side, it's a mega crackdown on the Dawood network. Top Dawood aide Salim Fruit detained in Mumbai.
It was a dark night with a bright idea.
Guys, we need something big.
Let's do what we always do. Something really bold. Let's take on the D segment.
Let's create the big daddy of all SUVs, because nothing else will do.
The big daddy of SUVs from Mahindra, coming soon.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
what is being claimed by the Hindu petitioners is that this particular structure of the mosque is entirely a temple. However, the Muslim petitioners have made it very clear that it's a 17th century building, which is why a recent videographic survey hurt their sentiment.
जो लोग वहाँ के सर्वे को रोक रहे हैं तो प्रश्न उठेगा।
सब अपने लोग हैं, आ जाइए महिला को आने दो ना। सब अपने लोग हैं, बोलिए। सी मेरा विजिट का पर्पस मेरा विजिट का पर्पस बहुत क्लियर है। सभी शांति से करेंगे, हम सभी करने वाले हैं। आप सब सेट हो जाइए फिर मुझे बताइए। और 14 दिवस जेल में होती ना मैम। आपने जो पूछा मुझे कि मेरा पर्पस क्या है दिल्ली आने का, दिल्ली मेरा अधिकार एक घर है। मेरा लोकसभा का जो मैं अधिकार लेके आती हूँ वो दिल्ली ही लेके आती हूँ, और सब अधिकारों का इस्तेमाल और अधिकारों के लिए लड़ाई लड़ने का घर मेरा दिल्ली है, जहाँ पर पार्लियामेंट जिसे कहते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है महाराष्ट्र में जो भी दुर्घटना हमारे साथ हुई, दुर्व्यवहार हमारे साथ हुआ, एज ए मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट और एज ए एमएलए हमारे साथ जो भी हुआ, उसके अगेंस्ट में जो मैंने मुंबई कार्रवाई करने के लिए दी है उस पर कुछ कार्रवाई नहीं हुई। तो आज मैं दिल्ली में उसी के अगेंस्ट में आई हूँ। तो मुझे लगता है कि मैं सभी जितने भी बड़े लीडर्स और जो रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, जो वुमेन्स को रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं सेंटर के द्वारा, उनके पास आके उनको मिलके मेरी पीड़ा मेरे साथ में जो हुआ उनको बताऊंगी मैं। मुझे लगता है कि जो भी कोर्ट ने आदेश मुझे दिए थे, जो मेरे बेल एप्लीकेशन ऑर्डर में थी कि पर्टिकुलर ये सब्जेक्ट पे मैं बात नहीं करूंगी, पर एज ए लोक प्रतिनिधि लोकतंत्र में संविधान ने मुझे जो अधिकार दिया है वो पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट को छोड़कर मैं बाकी सब्जेक्ट पे बात कर सकती हूँ। मैंने उस सब्जेक्ट को हाथ ना लगाते हुए जो मेरे साथ लॉकअप में हुआ, जिस तरीके से दुर्व्यवहार हुआ, जिस तरीके से जेल में मेरे साथ अत्याचार हुआ, मेरे हेल्थ इशू डॉक्टर लिख के देने के बाद भी मुझे जेल से चेकअप के लिए नहीं लेके जाया गया, इस विषय को लेकर बात करना ये अधिकार मुझे संविधान ने दिया है। पर कोर्ट के आदेश का पालन मैंने कल भी किया, आज भी करती हूँ और आगे भी करूंगी, उसमें कोई भी डाउट नहीं। आज मैंने ओम बिरला जी का टाइम लिया है और 5:30 बजे मैं ओम बिरला जी को मिलने वाली हूँ। एज ए लोकसभा मेंबर मेरे चेयरपर्सन को मिलके मेरी जो पीड़ा, मेरे साथ जो दुर्व्यवहार या महाराष्ट्र में उद्धव ठाकरे जी के द्वारा मेरे ऊपर अत्याचार किए गए, वो एज ए चेयरपर्सन उन्हें बताने का काम मेरा कर्तव्य बनता है और उनको आके वो बताऊंगी। और ये भी एक है कि सीपी जो अमरावती महाराष्ट्र के हैं, जो मुंबई के जो सीपी हैं, कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस संजय पांडे जी, उनको एक चीज बताना चाहूंगी, जो वो गुलामी उद्धव ठाकरे जी की कर रहे हैं और उनके प्रेशर में और उनके बोलने के अनुसार वो हर किसी पे कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं, किसी को जेल भेज रहे हैं, किसी पे नॉन बेलेबल ऑफेंस दाखिल कर रहे हैं। वो 1 महीने के बाद रिटायर्ड होने वाले हैं, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि उनके पाप धुल जाएंगे, उसके बाद भी उनके पाप बाहर निकलेंगे। आपको जो लालच उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने दी है कि आपको राज्यसभा मेंबर देंगे या आपको कोई एमएलसी देंगे, ये सब चीजें बाजू में रखकर मुझे लगता है उसके बाद भी आपको उत्तर देना पड़ेगा। और जब जिसने मेरे ऊपर और विधायक रवि जी के ऊपर जिन्होंने गलत तरीके से ऑफेंस दाखिल किया है, जब तक मुझे सब एक जनता से पूछना है, आप सब यहाँ पर हैं, आप सबको पूछना चाहूंगी मेरी गलती क्या थी, मैंने गलती क्या की? बेल की शर्तों का आपने उल्लंघन किया क्योंकि शो कॉज नोटिस हुआ। मैंने कोई भी उल्लंघन, कोर्ट के आदेशों का भंग नहीं किया, मैंने उस पर्टिकुलर विषय को हाथ नहीं लगाया। मैंने जो बोला, जो मेरे साथ पीड़ा हुई, मेरे हेल्थ इशू को लेकर मुझे जिस तरीके से पीड़ा दी गई, लॉकअप से लेकर जेल तक, उसे बोलने का अधिकार मुझे संविधान ने दिया और उसका मैंने अधिकार बजाया। 100% मैं सभी का समय लेऊंगी और लेकर वहां तक जाऊंगी। दादा, मी अमित शहाजींना जे महिलांना रिस्पेक्ट करतात, देशाचे गृहमंत्री आहे ओम बिर्ला साहेब आणि मोठे अजून जे लीडर आहे ज्यांचे हात पूर्ण राईट्स आहे, जे महिलांना रिस्पेक्ट करतात, तिथपर्यंत मी त्यांच्या दार ठोकण्यासाठी जाणार आणि त्यांना मी न्याय मांगण्याची पूर्ण गुहार लावणार है। मुझे लगता है पीएम साहब को भी, हमारे मुख्यमंत्री जैसे वो फ्री नहीं है पीएम साहब। हमारे मुख्यमंत्री दो साल कार्यालय नहीं जाते मुख्यमंत्री के। पीएम साहब तो हर मिनट ये देश के लिए देते हैं। तो हम भी देश के मिनट में 1 मिनट जरूर मांगूंगी पीएम साहब से कि हमारी पीड़ा उन्होंने समझनी चाहिए, सुननी चाहिए। पर मुझे ये जरूर विश्वास है कि अभी तक उन्होंने इस चीज की पूरी जानकारी ली होगी, पूरी माहिती इन्फॉर्मेशन उन तक पहुंची है। पर मुझे ये जरूर पता है कि पीएम साहब का 1-1 मिनट बहुत महत्व रखता है ये देश के लिए, और वो देश के लिए 1-1 मिनट के लिए काम करते हैं। उद्धव ठाकरे जी के जैसा 2 साल ऑफिस में नहीं जाते। 100% पुलिस, जो दिल्ली पुलिस है, जो मेरे घर के पार्लियामेंट के एरिया में जो पुलिस स्टेशन आता है, वहाँ जाके जो खुलेआम मुझे गुंडे जैसी एक राज्यसभा मेंबर ने धमकी दी, 20 फुट नीचे गाड़ कर, और आपकी पूरी सामग्री क्रियाक्रम की हमने ऑलरेडी मशान में पहुंचा दी है। इस तरीका का भाषा जो जिसने किया है संजय राउत, जिनको हमारे महाराष्ट्र में पोपट बुलाते हैं, ऐसे पोपट के अगेंस्ट में मैं एफआईआर करने के लिए पुलिस स्टेशन जाऊंगी और मैं खुद जाकर एफआईआर दूंगी। मुझे लगता है कि कोर्ट ने जो आदेश दिए मैं उसके अगेंस्ट भी जाऊंगी। मैं तो मेरी पूरी जनता को ये पूछ रही हूँ, एक भारतीय नागरिक होने के कारण और एक महिला होने के नाते मैं ये पूछना चाहूंगी, मैंने ऐसा कौन सा गुनाह किया जो मेरे ऊपर देशद्रोह लगा आज? मुझे ये सभी को पूछना है कि देशद्रोह किस बात का? अगर मेरी हेल्थ खराब है, मेरी हेल्थ इशू है, तो उस पे मैं बोलूंगी कि मेरी हेल्थ इशू है, डॉक्टर ने लिख के दिया मुझे कि आप जाइए हॉस्पिटल चेकअप कराइए, मुझे भेजा नहीं गया। और मुझे देशद्रोह के अंदर जिंदगी भर जिस ईमानदारी से मैंने काम किया, आज मेरे ऊपर देशद्रोह दाखिल होता है। तो महाराष्ट्र में कोई भी ऐसा व्यक्ति है न्याय के लिए नहीं लड़ेगा, न्याय के लिए बाहर नहीं आएगा।
क्या कहना चाहती हैं उद्धव ठाकरे के लिए? आज आप दिल्ली में मौजूद हैं, यहाँ से आप क्या कहना चाहती हैं?
मैं एक बात जरूर कहना चाहूंगी, ये जो उद्धव ठाकरे जी हैं, इन्होंने ज्ञान की बातें और सिद्धांत की बातें बिल्कुल नहीं करनी चाहिए। जो किसी और के भरोसे चुन के आए, मोदी जी के पैर छूकर आशीर्वाद लेकर 14 और 19 विधानसभा और लोकसभा जो अपने पार्टी के लोगों को चुन के लाए हैं, मोदी जी के भरोसे, उद्धव ठाकरे जी के भरोसे चुन के नहीं आए। खून का पसीना करना पड़ता है जब लोग लोकसभा और विधानसभा चुन के आते हैं। बैक स्टैंपिंग की है तो ये उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने की है। और भगवान के नाम लेने में अगर कोई मुझे जेल में डाल जाता है तो आखिरी सांस तक मैं भगवान का नाम लेना छोड़ूंगी नहीं। भगवान का नाम स्मरण करती थी, करूंगी और आगे भी करती रहूंगी, उसमें कोई नहीं रोक सकता। 100% मैं संजय राउत जी जो पोपट हैं उद्धव ठाकरे जी के, उसके अगेंस्ट में एफआईआर करूंगी। मुंबई में सभी डिपार्टमेंट के लोग अंडर प्रेशर काम कर रहे हैं, पर केंद्र के एजेंसी पे भी गुहार लगाऊंगी कि उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करें और इंक्वायरी करें। मुझे लगता है जिन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में सीधा तौर से मुझे आह्वान दिया, मुझे धमकी दी, उनके विरोध में मैं और शिवसेना ने हमारे घर पे हल्ला किया और हमारे अमरावती के घर पे हल्ला किया, मुंबई के घर पे हल्ला किया। गुंडेशाही तो उन्होंने की, हम तो घर से बाहर भी नहीं निकले, तो भी हम देशद्रोह। जो गुंडे हमें मारने आए उन पे कोई कार्रवाई नहीं। जो खुलेआम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मुझे बोलते हैं 20 फुट नीचे गाड़ देंगे, महिला को नीचे गाड़ देंगे। मैं तो आ गई हूँ दिल्ली, मैं तो मुंबई भी थी, गाड़ के तो देखते। हमारी देश की जनता सोई नहीं है, देश की जनता जागी है।
पीछे लो, पीछे नहीं पीछे 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 मैडम प्लीज पीछे पीछे घर पे हो जाएगा। पीछे पीछे पीछे
ये नहीं आएगा।
अरे फंस गई है।
The breaking news, the Ranas arrive in New Delhi. Navneet Rana, they're making strong statements about her stand, continuing to level allegations.
पांच बड़ी बातें एयरपोर्ट में आने के बाद पांच बड़ी बातें हैं।
मुंबईच्या घरी, अमरावतीच्या घरी ज्या पद्धतीनं खासदार आमदाराला 20 फूट गाळून टाकणार, जर संजय राऊत म्हणते जो राज्यसभाचा मेंबर आहे, अनिल परब ज्या पद्धतीनं धमक्या देतात, शिवसेनेचे हमले आमच्या घरापर्यंत येतात, गोटे मारतात, त्याच्यावर जर मुख्यमंत्री त्यांना सपोर्ट करताय, मुख्यमंत्र्याचं संरक्षण त्यांना आहे, तर केंद्रीय एजन्सीच्या माध्यमातून तपास झाला पाहिजे. आणि संजय पांडे जे मुंबईचे सीपी आहे, ते जरी उद्धव ठाकरेंना खुश करण्यासाठी चुकीचे कामं करत असतील, त्यांनी एक लक्षात ठेवलं पाहिजे की या ठिकाणी परमवीर सिंगनी सुद्धा गृहमंत्र्यांच्या सांगण्यावरून मुख्यमंत्र्यांच्या माध्यमातून चुकीचं काम केलं होतं. गृहमंत्री आता जेलमध्ये आहे, परमवीर सिंगवर इन्क्वायरी चालू आहे, वाजे जेलमध्ये आहे. जर संजय पांडे मुख्यमंत्र्यांच्या सांगण्यावरून जर चुकीचं काम करेल तर येणाऱ्या काळामध्ये मुख्यमंत्र्यांसोबत संजय पांडे सुद्धा जेलमध्ये दिसेल. हे लक्षात ठेवा. रिटायर झाले तरी ज्या केंद्रीय एजन्सीच्या माध्यमातून केंद्रीय एजन्सीवर आमचा विश्वास आहे, गृहमंत्र्याचे देशाचे गृहमंत्री यांच्यावर विश्वास आहे, देशाचे पंतप्रधान यांच्यावर विश्वास आहे. संसद आणि त्याच्या माध्यमातून पूर्ण चौकशी ही सीबीआयच्या माध्यमातून महाराष्ट्राच्या पूर्ण या देशद्रोह गुन्ह्याची झाली पाहिजे. मुख्यमंत्र्याला कधी माफ करणार नाही. मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे भाजपच्या पाठीमध्ये खंजीर मुख्यमंत्री झाले हे विसरू नका, कारण की महाराष्ट्राची जनता चांगली जाणते. मुख्यमंत्र्यांनी भाजपच्या पाठीमध्ये खंजीर खुपसून मुख्यमंत्री बनले आणि महाराष्ट्राचं वाटोळं लावलं आहे. याच्या संदर्भात सुद्धा देशाची जनता, महाराष्ट्राची जनता त्यांच्यावर पूर्णपणे त्या सगळ्या गोष्टीवर लक्ष ठेवून आहे आणि त्यांना भोगावं लागतं. आता असं आहे, देशद्रोहाचा गुन्हा त्यांनी दाखल, या ठिकाणी लॉकअप मध्ये त्यांनी टाकलं, त्या ठिकाणी जेलमध्ये त्यांनी टाकलं, हॉस्पिटलमध्ये नवनीत राणाला नाही नेण्यासाठी जेलवर प्रेशर आणलं. संजय राऊतनी 20 फूट काढण्याची मशालामध्ये गौऱ्या पाठवलेल्या आहेत, त्याच्या संदर्भात धमकी दिली. करतात, आमच्या घरावर दगडफेक करतात, हे सगळं जर नाटक आहे तर महाराष्ट्राची जनता हे सगळं पाहत आहे. आणि नक्कीच जर हनुमान चालीसा वाचणाऱ्याला जर देशद्रोहाचा गुन्हा दाखल होत असेल तर हे कोर्टाने सुद्धा नोंदलेलं आहे की देशद्रोहाचा गुन्हा बनतच नाही तरी खोटा गुन्हा दाखल केला मुख्यमंत्र्यांच्या सांगण्यावरून संजय पांडेंनी. तर हे खोटं नाही आहे, हे देश आणि महाराष्ट्राची जनता पाहत आहे आणि त्यांना धडा हनुमान भक्तांनी रामभक्त करणार. कोर्ट का हमेशा हम सम्मान करते. कोर्ट ने हमें न्याय दिया, बेल दी, उसका भी हमने सम्मान किया. आगे भी कोर्ट से हम न्याय मांगेंगे. हमने कोई भी कोर्ट के आदेश का उल्लंघन नहीं किया है, कोर्ट के उस सब्जेक्ट को लेके कोई टिप्पणी नहीं की है, पर लोकतंत्र के अंदर, संविधान के अंदर जो हमें लोकशाही के माध्यम से अधिकार दिया है हमारा मत मांडने के लिए, वो हमने हमारा मत मांडा है.
Navneet and Ravi Rana arrive in New Delhi, make strong statements alleging ill treatment in jail for Navneet and determination on the part of the couple to ensure that those responsible for their torture are brought to book.
It was a dark night with a bright idea.
Guys, we need something big.
Let's do what we always do. Something really bold. Let's take on the D segment.
Let's create the big daddy of all SUVs because nothing else will do.
The big daddy of SUVs from Mahindra, coming soon.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
In a shocking incident, 2 persons were injured after 15 to 20 rounds of firing took place in West Delhi, Subhash Nagar, late at night on Saturday. In fact, these firing took place yesterday in the middle of the night, after which 2 people have been injured. They have been rushed to the spot. And after the incident took place, several police officials were deployed in the area, and there is a heavy deployment in the shooting site. And several barricades have also been placed, and the inquiry has also been placed by the officials. According to the preliminary information that we're getting from the officials, the investigation has been put in place as to who was behind the firing. CCTV cameras are being constantly checked of the entire location, and the injured people are undergoing treatment in the nearby hospital. The entire incident took place on Saturday night. This is Sumi Rajapun for Republic Media Network with video journalist Ranveer, New Delhi.
Refugees have gathered here in Jammu as a part of Smaran Divas to remember those who have attained martyrdom in the Pakistan's brutality when the part of Jammu and Kashmir was illegally occupied by Pakistan, and now these people have come from various parts of the country to remember those who have given the supreme sacrifice. Sir, मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, जो हमारे वहाँ पर छूट गए विस्थापित लोग, हमारे जो वहाँ पर पूर्वज छूट गए हैं, उन लोगों को हम अपने साथ मिलाना चाहते हैं और हम उनके साथ मिलेंगे। POJK का जो हिस्सा उसको लेने के लिए आज संकल्प लेंगे और अपने जो पूर्वज थे उनको हम आज श्रद्धांजलि देंगे। श्रद्धांजलि दे रहे सर, आपसे जानना चाहूँगा, लगातार मांग उठ रही है POJK वापसी को लेकर, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
ये बहुत अच्छा कदम है, ये ऐसा होना चाहिए। हम उधर जाएं, वो इधर आएं, एक दूसरे का मिलाप होना चाहिए।
वापस आना चाहिए पाकिस्तान अधिकृत जम्मू कश्मीर।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वापस आना चाहिए पूरे का।
We're reporting outside the Kashi Vishwanath temple over here and the mosque that is all mired into controversy. We'll take you straight to the visuals over here in Varanasi.
बुलडोजर के बाहर सामने बैठ गए हैं कांग्रेस के नेता, वहां पर कह रहे हैं कि हम आगे नहीं चलने देंगे बुलडोजर को, कोई नोटिस नहीं दिया गया है। और हम यहाँ शाहीन बाग को टारगेट करने की बात फिर से कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता कर रहे हैं। किस तरह से सियासी रूप से ये बुलडोजर चलाया जा रहा है, सिर्फ शाहीन बाग पर चलाया जा रहा है, जामिया पर चलाया जा रहा है, ये बात कह रहे हैं।
The pictures of Kashi is taking place between police and workers of political parties. Police resorting to lathi charge, removing these protesters.
Uddhav government goes all out, wants Navneet and Ravi Rana back in jail. No immediate rearrest for the Ranas yet. Court issues notice. Ranas given right to reply. Navneet Rana to meet Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla at 5:30 p.m. in the national capital. Setback for left in Supreme Court. Refuses to entertain CPIM plea. Left forced to withdraw petition. Protesters clash with police. Multiple protesters detained after attempt to block bulldozers. It's a mega crackdown on the Dawood network in Mumbai. Top Dawood aides detained by the NIA. And joining us now for more on this story is, on our top story, is our correspondent Ankit. Ankit, you were at the Sessions Court covering this entire story as it panned out. Well, Uddhav Thackeray's government clearly wanting a non-bailable warrant, wanting a rearrest notice, as public prosecutor Pradeep Gharat said a short while back, but no such good fortune as far as the Uddhav government is concerned against the Ranas.
Undisputably, in
Ankit,
fact,
if you can hear me.
I can tell you, two things are happening simultaneously. Just as, yes, I can. Just as Pradeep Gharat came out after the court here issued a notice to the Ranas, of which details are still to come out. he made it clear that if the court issues a non-bailable warrant, then the Mumbai police will go anywhere in the country to implement that warrant. At the same time, Navneet Rana and Ravi Rana landed in Delhi, and they also spoke to the media, and Navneet Rana has argued against the very arguments that Pradeep Gharat was making here, which is that she claims that she did not say anything that violates the court order. The Ranas claim that they have abided by the court order. They say that they were mistreated in the jail. They are allowed to talk about it. They claim that Sanjay Raut, a Rajya Sabha MP, is threatening them that they will go and file a FIR with the Delhi police over that complaint, and that talking about these things to the media does not quantify as a contempt of court, does not quantify as a violation of the court's orders in terms of what it was issued to them while the bail was being granted. Remember, the argument here is that they are not allowed to speak to the media about any matter that is currently being investigated. Mr. Gharat, just one question. The Ranas have just landed in Delhi and they say that they have not violated the order. Mr. Gharat, in English please. The Ranas said they have not violated any order. They are allowed to speak about the mistreatment, they say. They say they were mistreated in jail. They are allowed to speak about it. The Ranas just said
That is a separate subject. They were not supposed to talk in respect of that subject before the media. If they had any complaint of ill treatment or anything, they should have approached the proper forum. Either it can be court or other competent authority. But it does not mean that they should talk before the media.
Sir, one last. They say Sanjay Raut is threatening them.
I'm coming.
So that was Pradeep Gharat. He'll be back again speaking with us shortly. But that was the first reaction of the special public prosecutor of the Maharashtra government to the statements made by Navneet and Ravi Rana right now. He says that they should approach a competent authority, not speak about it to the media if they have any grievances that are not related to the case, that are not related to the orders that they must not violate. Pradeep Gharat says that they must approach a competent authority. We were the only channel to ask a question to Pradeep Gharat about the statements made by the Ranas just now in Delhi, which were after the notice was issued, and clearly there is more to be said. Pradeep Gharat will be joining us shortly once again, because viewers, the important point to note here is while the notice has been issued, we are yet to find out by when the Ranas must reply to the notice, and other issues, other specifics are yet to.
बच्चों को पता है वो पीड़ा लेकर जब मैंने मुंबई में कंप्लेंट्स की, जिन्होंने गुंडागर्दी की, जिन्होंने मेरे घरों पे हमला किया, मुंबई में हमला किया, अमरावती में हमला किया, तो उनके अगेंस्ट जब मैंने कंप्लेंट दी तो उस पर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई। संजय राउत खुलेआम धमकी देते हैं कि तुम्हें मार दिया जाएगा, तुम्हें गाड़ दिया जाएगा। उन पे कोई कार्रवाई महाराष्ट्र में नहीं हुई, मुंबई में नहीं हुई। डिपार्टमेंट अपना काम करता है, पर डिपार्टमेंट अंडर प्रेशर काम कर रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है अब मेरे पास एक ही घर रह गया है, वो मेरा सेंटर का घर। मेरी न्याय, जहाँ मैं लोगों के न्याय के लिए लड़ती हूँ, मैं खुद के अगर न्याय नहीं मांग पाऊंगी तो मैं लोगों को कहाँ से न्याय दे पाऊंगी।
मैम, आप अभी यहाँ पर आई हैं, क्या संजय राउत के खिलाफ आप कंप्लेंट करेंगी?
101% कंप्लेंट करूंगी, और मैं खुद जाऊंगी पुलिस स्टेशन कंप्लेंट देने के लिए। जो भी उन्होंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में ओपनली मुझे गुंडागर्दी के हिसाब से जो टॉर्चर और जो थ्रेट दिया है, मारने की धमकी दी है, उसके अगेंस्ट मुझे जाना ही पड़ेगा। मैं लड़ूंगी, मैं रोऊंगी नहीं, मैं लड़ूंगी। और ये देश की महिला है, देश की महिला इतनी शांति से डरने वाली नहीं है और लड़ने वाली। और
मैम, वो कह रहे कि कोर्ट के जो नियम का जो है उसका उल्लंघन किया है, जो आपको जमानत मिली है उसको लेकर उद्धव सरकार दोबारा जा सकती है कोर्ट में।
मैं आपको एक चीज बताना जरूर चाहूंगी कि कोर्ट का हमने सम्मान हमेशा किया है एज ए भारतीय नागरिक, और एज ए रिस्पॉन्सिबल, एज ए मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट टू। हमें रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और कोर्ट का आदेश मैंने माना, इसलिए वो सब्जेक्ट पे मैंने कोई भी चर्चा ना करते हुए मैंने सिर्फ जो मेरे साथ बीती है उस पे मैंने भाष्य किया है, ना कि वो पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट पे जब कोर्ट ने कहा उस पे आप कुछ बात नहीं करेंगे तो उस पे मैंने कोई चर्चा नहीं की। पर मुझे तो मेरा राइट्स, जो मेरा अधिकार संविधान ने दिया है ये देश में, फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच, वो तो मैं जरूर करूंगी।
कोर्ट अगर नोटिस भेजेगी मैम, तब आप क्या करेंगे?
हम लीगली कोर्ट को ये जरूर बताना चाहेंगे कि हमने किस बात पे लोगों के सामने आके प्रेस के साथ में बात की। मेरा पीड़ा जेल से लॉकअप से लेके जेल तक मेरे साथ क्या दुर्व्यवहार हुआ, किस तरीके से हमें पीड़ा पहुंचाने का काम किया, मेरी हेल्थ इशू को बढ़ाने का किसने काम किया। 27 को डॉक्टर लिख के देते हैं पर उसके बावजूद मुझे हॉस्पिटल 4 तारीख तक नहीं लेके जाया जाता है। ये सब चीज़ें पे बोलना मेरा अधिकार है और बाबा साहब ने यही सिखाया, लड़ना चाहिए, डरना नहीं चाहिए।
उद्धव ठाकरे के लिए क्या कहेंगे, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से आप हनुमान चालीसा कर रही थी, अपने धर्म का ही एक निर्वहन कर रही थी, तो ऐसे में मैम आपके खिलाफ इतनी बड़ी कार्रवाई हुई, आपके हस्बैंड के खिलाफ कार्रवाई।
मुझे लगता है कि राम भक्त और हनुमान भक्त उद्धव ठाकरे को उनकी जगह दिखाएंगे। जो मोदी जी के पैर पकड़कर 14 और 19 जीत के आए, आने वाले समय में वही भक्त उन्हें उनकी जगह भी दिखाएंगे।
आज आप किस से मिलेंगी? ओम बिरला जी से?
आज ओम बिरला जी से समय लिया है मैंने और सर ने मुझे समय दिया है और उन्होंने पूरी जानकारी भी पहले ली है, मेरे साथ क्या हुआ, किस तरीके दुर्व्यवहार हुआ। आज मैं जाके एक सदस्य होने के नाते जरूर मेरी पीड़ा उनके सामने रखूंगी। मैं उनसे भी समय मांगूंगी और उन्होंने वैसे भी पूरी जानकारी, एक महिला और सभागृह की सदस्य होने के नाते उन्होंने पूरी जानकारी ली है, पर मैं जाकर अपनी पीड़ा उनके सामने रखने का काम करूंगी। हमारी सुनवाई केंद्र के माध्यम से, केंद्र की एजेंसी उन पे कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए, वो मांग भी करूंगी।
हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो ये थी हमारे साथ नवनीत राणा, और जिस तरीके से आज वो दिल्ली आई हैं और यहाँ पर उन्होंने साफ तौर पे बोला है कि दिल्ली में मेरा घर है और मैं आज यहाँ पर आई हूँ और मैं मुलाकात करूंगी, ओम बिरला जी से भी मुलाकात करूंगी, साथ ही साथ जेपी नड्डा और अमित शाह और पीएम से भी मिलने का समय वो मांगेगी। और जिस तरीके से उनका साफ तौर पर ये कहना है कि वो अपने धर्म का निर्वहन कर रही थी, हनुमान चालीसा का अगर उन्होंने पाठ किया तो उन्होंने कोई जुर्म नहीं किया, और अगर वो अपनी बात रख रही हैं तो उसमें भी वो कोर्ट के किसी भी नियम का, किसी भी शर्त का उल्लंघन नहीं कर रही हैं, ऐसा उनका साफ तौर पर कहना है। लेकिन आपको मैं दिखाना चाहूंगी कि अभी वो यहाँ पर आई हैं और तमाम मीडिया कर्मियों के बीच में मौजूद हैं और थोड़ी देर में वो अपने घर जाएंगी और उनकी पहली कोशिश रहेगी कि सबसे पहले वो ओम बिरला से मिले, उसके बाद उनकी मुलाकात, जो कह रही है कि वो समय लेंगी, अमित शाह जी से समय लेंगी, साथ ही साथ
The other big story after the provocative vandalism of the Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly building and a banned group's Khalistan referendum call, the state has stepped up security. Interstate borders have been sealed and police barricades have been placed. Thorough checking is being conducted by police at entrance of Himachal Pradesh. Take a look at this ground report by my colleague Amandeep for more.
After the incident happened, that Khalistan flags has been hosted at the Dharamshala State Assembly. In fact, now Himachal Pradesh police and the government are showing their concern and tighten the security on the borders. And in fact, several borders has been sealed completely by Himachal Pradesh police, and even a thorough checking is going on. We are standing on the Haryana and Himachal Pradesh border. This is one of the entrance point from the side of the Haryana to Himachal Pradesh, where you can see the visuals. A heavy police deployment is here after the incident, just because they have taken a serious note of the incident. Every single vehicle is being checked thoroughly what exactly they are carrying in their vehicles. Himachal has sealed all the borders and such kind of checking is going on. How you are carrying out this operation?
We are checking all the vehicles coming to the state, and we are checking their luggage and to the passengers. We are inquiring them, and thereafter we are letting them go.
What kind of inquiry is being done of the passengers who are coming to Himachal?
Where from they are coming and where they are going, and who are along with them, and we are verifying all the things.
Let's get you the latest from the Russia-Ukraine conflict as the Ukrainian army continues to advance around the Kharkiv region, liberating new villages. The bodies of more and more Russian soldiers emerge. The bodies of more than 40 Russian soldiers who were found after battles around Kharkiv are being stored in a refrigerated train wagon until they will be requested by Russia. However, according to Ukrainian officials, until now, Russia has not made any efforts to retrieve bodies of its soldiers. Russians celebrated Victory Day in Vladivostok with a military parade to mark the 77th anniversary of the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany. Military personnel carrying the Russian flag and the banner of victory led the parade through the center of the eastern city. Signs of support for the military have grown across the country since Feb 24th invasion in Ukraine, with the letter Z appearing on billboards and signs in and streets and subways, and on television and social media. Japan's PM Fumio Kishida said that his country will ban Russian crude oil imports in principle to show unity with the Group of 7 effort against Russian invasion of Ukraine. Leaders from G7 countries met online and announced their commitment to ban or phase out Russian oil imports in their latest effort to pressure Moscow into ending its aggression on Ukraine. 10 buses slowly pulled into 7. The Zaporizhzhia carrying 174 evacuees from Mariupol. Of the last 51 civilians who were evacuated from the besieged Azovstal steel plant, just over 30 made it out of Russian-held territories. Several hundred more who had hoped to join the evacuation convoy from other areas currently held by Russian forces had to stay behind after Russian and Ukrainian sides failed to reach an agreement on their evacuation. Bono and The Edge from the band U2 have visited Ukraine to perform in support of the country's fight against Russia. Speaking in Borodankia, a town that had been devastated after a lengthy period of occupation by the Russians, Bono said he was not sure words can fully express what they have been through. He also said, apparently referring to Russian President Vladimir Putin, that he thought the conflict was one man's war and that he had faith in the younger Russians to remove him from office. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has filed nomination for the by-polls scheduled for May 31st. In the by-polls, Dhami will contest from the Champawat constituency, and notably he has also lost from the Khatima seat in the recently held assembly elections in Uttarakhand. Have a look at this report for more.
देखिए, मैं चूँकि सभी देवी देवताओं का, चंपावत क्षेत्र की महान जनता का सबका आभारी हूँ, सबका धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने आम चुनाव में वहाँ से प्रचंड बहुमत से श्री कैलाश चंद गहतोड़ी जी को भारी बहुमत से जिताया था और उन्होंने वहाँ से आग्रह किया था कि मैं उस क्षेत्र से अब प्रतिनिधित्व करूँ और मैं अपना सौभाग्य मानता हूँ। अब मैं बनखंडी महादेव के प्रांगण में हूँ। बनखंडी बाबा का, हमारे पूर्णागिरी मैया का, गोलजू महाराज का, शारदा मैया का, माँ बाराही का, हिंगला देवी का, रणकुची मैया का, सभी देवी देवताओं के आशीर्वाद से मैं चंपावत क्षेत्र की सेवा करने के लिए तैयार हूँ।